Now here's the comment chain from a piece of Lao Tse art that will prove that he can't take criticism.
Is Lincoln kissing the nose? Or what?
Fuck you, you just pussy.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Okay, sorry, that was over-exaggerated.
And overdone as balls?
Others are grown to hate this ship, and they have a very good reason why. They are siblings, which is incest, and incest is wrong.
Incest is wrong. Boldest statement of the year, people.
Now for some of his xenophilia ships. All of these ships are just beyond disgusting. Why the hell would you ship aliens with underage characters, you sicko?
These don't even look like serious ships. They're meant to be disturbing. I wouldn't say they cross the line. Other than the actual sexual crap on his gallery, you're kind of cherry-picking examples of supposed pedophilia.
Now, he has made a comic series called 1900s plus 2000s, which is just a blatant ripoff of Undertale.
Which ripped off Earthbound to some degree.
Totally hyped for Undertale free, by the way.
And according to the description of the intro, it says, and I quote, "It's a story about the two races named characters and creators."
Wow! How original! Wow! How original!
Oh wait. Afterwards, he brings up that a lot of the users casted into his series don't want to be in it.
Fine. What a fucking N-word. Just because you're a fucking asshole that don't understand. It was fucking that 3 years ago that you like my arts, so you're now fucking happy now, you dick.
Whoa, look, yes, I like your art, but if you wanted me to join this, you could have just asked.
Miguan, he never wanted to be in your series in the first place.
You forgot that Pikaboy 5 might have been okay if Meegs asked first.
Also, he's upset because of his haters.
Stop dabbing in the Cheerios, son.
But hey, I feel getting hated due to when I made about Loud House characters get killed by monsters, but they I created them for stories, okay? I'm just an idiot in a computer, all day long, but not that long, haters. You are not the boss of me. I do everything I wanted.
Miguan, they have every right to hate you for what you have made. They were underaged, and them being fictional is not a fucking excuse.
This post is specifically talking about the graphic art, dude. And to some degree, I kind of have to defend his poorly worded and salty response, as he did say those were for stories. I'll remain skeptical, but I'll take his word for now.
Some of the deviations he uploads are just frames of Treasure Planet, which is very lazy and pointless.
Apparently, these were the posts he decided to keep. Okay.
He stole an OC called Nathalie Stardust, recolored it, and claims that as his own and called it the original's older sister. Apparently, the original owner fell for it and Meigs gave it to him as a gift. Miguan, that is probably one of the worst actions you have committed. You can't just steal someone's character, recolor it, call it your own, and give it to the owner. They just make the siblings look 100% like each other.
Alterations from the creator can be made to make it more distinguishable. Ever thought of that?
Now, before I say my final thoughts here, here's a special guest who wants to share his thoughts on Meigs. Take it away, Dr. Venus.
Meigs, you're an interesting person to say the least. Your art is decent. Your ideas are stolen. You in general. Oh my god.
How do I structure a summary?
You like to force people into that dumb little Undertale comic, which is just basically YouTubers and DeviantArt users, the movie. And if they don't want to be in it, you call them some rather mean and disparate names. You don't put a mature filter on anything you draw that actually is mature, like little kids dying and Lori Loud smoking weed. I'm pretty sure a lot of people wanted to see that.
Drug usage needs a mature filter too? You are pretty much acting like a yes man to package, Dr. Venus.
Now for my final thoughts. Meigs is a sadistic, a pedophile, unoriginal, and a thief. Learn to take criticism and stop your obsession over underage girls.
I bet $1,000 for any video which brings up those exact same 2 points in this ranting space.
Kind of reminds me of someone else.
Machuco was much more open about his waifu, so quit your yapping.
Also, I know a place that could really help you out. You seem to really need it.
You need to send Meigs in too!
Anyways, that's all for this rant, and special thanks to Dr. Venus for being in this video.
Drunken Bill Cipher will only be good when not paired with your shallow-ass rants. Really, the guy has charisma.
This is ThePackagedReviewer signing off.
Change your outro music to this. One last last video should do it, and that's the one which follows the one on Meeks, all because he's mentioned in the opening.
Some people have been defending this guy by saying that he is disabled and that he is 14. First of all, being disabled is not an excuse to get away with criticism. You can't just say, I have autism, so you can't criticize me. Secondly, no matter what age you are, finding a minor sexy is just sick and borderline child porn.
Age sort of can be used as an excuse under some circumstances. From what Charchi is saying, most of the shipping art was made when he was a preteen, meaning he probably didn't know better. That and his ship with Tina isn't as creepy as it looks. Most of it wasn't even pedo bait for one thing. You know it's bad when I have to defend the suggestive art he made to some caliber.
Today's rant will be on Bartoons, aka Emanuelito. He's one of those die-hard cartoon fans.
Now this guy I've seen, and he is quite the nutcase. Here's a challenge. Try reading all the fan buttons on his profile bio without quitting. I've tried and it exhausted the fuck out of me. The man's also responsible in the creation of these off-putting memes. How could you allow us to rant on this guy up?
Relationship, United States of Italy, my favorite countries, and I'm neutral with Donald Trump, but I hate Japan. I saw also Mexico, Canada, Spain, France, Germany, Greek and Egypt. I love cartoons, and I'm single, and I stay at home, and I go get parts.
I like how he claims he's from the US, yet his grammar is terrible.
It's hilariously bad, but no need to generalize the crap out of his grammar, acting like everyone in the US has decent grammar. He might have lacked a good schooling, or is young for all we know.
Now for his quote-unquote art. All of his digital art are just still images in one picture.
Look who's talking, bub!
He seems to have this fetish for Luna and Lenny kissing Lincoln on the cheeks. And he also created a harem for Lincoln. He makes repetitive memes on Lincoln and his harem, which are redundant to say the least.
Is this an alt account to Matrico?
Speaking of redundancy, he calls anime Japanese anime. Because what else would anime be if they were in Japanese?
South Korean anime like Dooley apparently don't exist.
And the only reason why he hates Japan is because of anime, which is a really fucking stupid reason to hate a country. That's like saying you hate China just because they make cheap plastic products.
Donald Trump's vendetta for China, pretty much. Package Reviewer spends over 2 minutes having text-to-speech voices read comments, but I'll only show you the highlights as there is little to say.
And there are more terrible Western cartoons than terrible aims.
The Random 500 has clearly not heard about the more babyish and fetishy animes that come out, like Fairy Tail. Plus, not too many anime shows look distinct. Anime as a whole isn't inferior for those reasons alone, but I don't agree that more good animes exist than cartoons. Feel free to disagree with me if you please.
With any cartoon, there is a hint of anime inside of it.
That's kinda bullshit. But the late 80s into the 90s, I get where you're saying with the rise of Japanese studios like Tokyo Movie Shinsha animating Western cartoons. And of course by the 2000s when anime became more easily accessible in the States, and more shows gained influence from it. But before those times, it was rare.
Wrong. Without cartoons, Loud House would have never existed. And shut up. I'm not dumb racist. Cartoons is good and amazing along with Loud House. But anime, it fucking sucks. Shut up you moron idiot and Sully. Cartoons equals hooray. Japanese anime equals suck.
Bart, you are so quotable.
Now let's take a look at his fandom cartoon ship meme. Favorite non-canon ship, Star and Lincoln. Well, of course it's not canon. They're not from the same show.
That's why it's on that box.
He is also infamous for spamming requests of Luna and Lenny kissing Lincoln on the cheeks, which is very repetitive and too lighthearted.
Lighthearted? What? You already mentioned the cheek kiss fixation Bart has earlier on. You could have talked about the requests there. Organization matters.
Also, did I mention that he stole someone's artwork for a meme?
I don't inherently see that much of a problem with using someone else's art for a meme as long as you give credit, which Bart does not credit TX-ToonGuy1037 for the Lenny X Kenny image, but yeah, could have said that instead. I've got nothing else here, so I'll wrap this up. What do I think of the package reviewer? Okay, for real. I did skip a lot of your criticisms because half of them are actually valid. Those screw-ups do bar down your rants to a significant degree for me though. That and the occasional possible rip-off moments. You have plenty of potential to become great, no lie. But one of my biggest suggestions is to try and cover more topics. You aren't just going to get by with Loud House fans on DeviantArt and cartoon fans. May not work like magic the first couple of times, but that's what me and other critics are for. And for me, I really should become less derivative as well over time. Suggestions may not work work for this little annoyance for either of us, or anyone really. You're probably the best creator I've done a full video on from an objective standpoint, but as I've said, your projects need some more oomph to them. Thank you all for watching. This is BracketNeutron celebrating 3 years on YouTube.
You still haven't sent Base and Meeks to the mental hospital! I am suing you, Child Protective Services! You worthless lying sons of bitches!